Cubby blue blood flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubby, Son Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Mucho Scali.
Son Ranto.
Michael.
Son Ranto.
Cotton.
Son Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto.
Mucho Scali.
Live from New York, it's Danny Rockett. Da, 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 da. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Son Ranto Cubs Show. My name is Danny.
SRL, right? Instead of SNL, it's SRL. It's Son Ranto Live.
Son Ranto Live, SRL. Yeah, that's kind of like TRL, Total Request Live with Carson Daly. I'm dating myself a little bit. And then mixed with SNL, and you get SRL. Son Ranto Live. That's what we're doing. I'm Danny Rockett. I'm one of the co-hosts of the show. I'm in New York City, just putting up a show. I'm putting up shows out here like a maniac. Haven't slept. Things are going nuts out here. Flights were missed. Vans will be driven. Sets will be driven to Pittsburgh tomorrow. It's all just a lot of mayhem here. But here to talk about the Cubs with my co-host, Michael Cotton.
Hey. I'm doing all right. Can't complain too much. It's beautiful weather outside, and yeah, I don't know. There's not a ton.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm maybe getting a new job, which will actually make this project a little bit easier to deal with. So we're hoping on that.
Cool. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And speaking of jobs, Patreon people. You've given Michael and I a job, all 112 of you. Thank you so much for supporting us at patreon.com/sunranto. It is for you, which we do the show. And as always, if you put hashtag chance in the chat with a capital C, you could win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me.
You know what? Since we're talking about contests and Patreon people, let's not forget we have a Patreon contest going for the All-Star game. Fill out your All-Star choices, screenshot them, send them to me at Cubes Fanatic. You can DM them to me, or you can send them to me at michael.cotton@protonmail.com. And this is only for the Patreon. So you got to get into the Patreon, put it in there, and aren't they getting like a bobblehead or whoever has the most correct picks?
Yeah, they get well, before he gets fired, I just need to give these away. The David Ross 2020 manager bobblehead. Now he's 2 years in. They finally give this damn thing away. They made it 2 years ago. It sat in storage during COVID. And now finally it's going to be given away to somebody like you who has all the right picks, along with a David Ross teammate book, which is signed by the guy he wrote it with, who I forget the guy's name right now, but it's like his ghostwriter, dude.
That's an awesome prize. That is so totally worth getting into the Patreon for at least $5 a month. We give you all this content. We're giving you prizes. It's excellent.
And I will add that I noticed in the book, it's actually inscribed to me. It says to Danny. So you'll always know that Chuck Yeager, I think, is the guy's name. Not
Chuck Yeager. Chuck Yeager was a fighter pilot back in the day, and test pilot.
He broke the sound barrier.
I think he was an astronaut.
Yeah. He was like the most famous astronaut, like after John Glenn or something. And now he disappeared. What happened to Chuck Yeager? He was like the guy that when you pretend to be flying as a kid, you're like, look, I'm Chuck Yeager. Remember that? He was a test pilot. He is dead. He died December 7th, 2020, a date that will live in infamy.
It really will.
December 7th, 1941. So anyway, we should get off the Chuck Yeager chat and onto the Cubs chat, shall we? But yeah, this is all brought to you by our Patreon people. Please join us, patreon.com/sunranto, #chance in the chat, and you could win the chance. Look, we didn't really get talk about the first series because we just did our the Twitter Spaces thing last Wednesday night, which was a lot of fun, even though it went pretty late. Would love talking to all you guys. Like, definitely love doing that. Definitely will keep doing it. But we got swept by the Padres, and people had a lot of things to say that evening about what's going wrong and how we're frustrated with the rebuild. And it was so much on display in this series against the Padres. We were outscored 41-15. We lost one game 19-5. The bullpen, which had been pretty good, our bullpen is terrible.
What you could have said is that we lost one game 12-5, and then it got worse the next day, and we lost 19-5.
Oh my God. I mean, it was embarrassing. I was talking to Sarah Sanchez on our show, and she's just like, I was just embarrassed to be at Wrigley Field. Like, I'm like, is it paper bag time? Is it time to pull paper bags? I mean, do they even have paper bags at Jewel anymore? I don't even know if I could get one, but I'm going to get one. And I'm going
I would hope so. I hope they're switching to paper bags and getting rid of the plastic bags. Isn't that where we're going with the world?
They make you bring your own bag or pay for one. And now that you got to pay for one, they'll never get rid of it. They're like, oh, we can make money doing this. Woohoo! Like, it's like, anyway. Sometimes you need plastic bags. People have dogs. So yeah, we sucked. I did want to say that I had a great time on the game we were kind of in, which was I went to the Thursday day game and I saw a couple ranters. First of all, I sat the whole game with Joe and his wife Rachel. He's a Wrigleyville bum on Twitter. Really super nice guy. He came in from Iowa to see the game. He maybe goes to 20 games a year and tries to steal Jeff's seat.
Right. He goes 20 games a year, sits in other people's seats.
No, I'm sorry. Not Iowa, Indiana. I always get those two states mixed up. One's on one side, one's on the other. Yeah, I don't know.
One is slightly more racist than the other, but basically the same place.
It's all the same to me. I just go one way or the other. And also, the lead singer of the Rally Tits Lady Christmas Carol, John Jurgovan, was at the game, and we finally got to meet each other. After hearing him sing that Rally Tits song and then meeting him the other day, I felt like I was meeting a ranter celebrity. I really did. Like, I can't see John. I was like, oh, maybe he'll sing the Rally Tits song for me, but he did not. I didn't even ask him to, but so we lost, but whatever. I had fun talking to those guys. That's the thing that's what Rockett's bought. Rockett's bought us enjoying a day at the old ballpark as we get swept, still being like, it was cool. I'll drink $12 beers, which actually I didn't pay for because John bought me one and Joe bought me the other. So that's really the way to work it.
But just because you didn't pay for it doesn't mean the Rocketts didn't get that money.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
And so I asked you to say your poem about this one, the worst game. So if you want to bring that up.
Okay, the worst game?
Yeah. Isn't the 19-5 loss?
Oh, that's the one you wanted. I got confused because I was doing the poem for that one. Well, okay. You know what? So the worst game is actually not my poem.
Say whatever poem you want.
Oh, hold on. Now I got to bring it up. I'm sorry. I got confused with the instructions.
I'll play a little bringing it up music. Well, I'll tell you what I will do while you're bringing it up. I want to show people. I'm in right now. I'm actually in Brooklyn, but I was in Queens last night, and having a great time. Went out to this bar where actually Joe Kilgallen does stand-up comedy. It's called The Gutter, and just having a great time in here in New York. And at the Gutter Bar, which is also a bowling alley. Look what I saw. A picture of Ernie Banks on the wall opposite a picture of Whitey Ford, the famous Yankees pitcher from the 50s. But I was like, we're playing Jenga at this bar. And I look up and I was like, that looks like Ernie Banks. And I'm like, I got to go inspect because it was darker. And it was freaking Ernie Banks. And just kind of
That's
surprising to see that. It's pretty cool. Oh, that's the cast.
that is cool. Okay, so I'm gonna read it. I'm not gonna bring it up on the screen.
But you
This
do
was
need background
actually
music.
yeah, this was actually Emily, my wife. She's brilliant, and she decided that she would step in and write a haiku for this game because I got busy. I was behind a little bit, so this is Emily's haiku. If the Cubs won't try, then I'm not trying either. Refrigerator.
Is that a reference to eating your own pain from that? I mean,
No, just that whenever you do a shitty haiku, refrigerator is 5 syllables. So you can just throw that in at the end. She's just not trying. She's just like, this fucking team sucks. They don't deserve any effort.
Yeah, Frank Schwindel Ephus, also 5 syllables. So maybe that could have worked in there, but who am I to mess with Emily's art? It was what a I mean, that series you could really throw it in the garbage. The other person I hung out with during that game was it that game or the game after? I forget, but Ball Hawk Dave. No, did we go? We went in the 19-5 loss. Is that when we did? Was that Wednesday or Tuesday that we lost?
That was the second game. So that would have been
the third game. We lost like 12-5 or something.
No, the third game was 6-4, but we still lost.
Yeah. No, the fourth game was 6-4. The third game was something also bad. It was a really long game, and then we it doesn't matter. We freaking lost.
I totally forgot that we were doing 4-game series this week.
Yeah, 4-game series. Yeah. It was. So we got swept even worse than you thought.
Yeah. Well, and it was the tail end of 10 straight losses. Like it was the worst stretch of baseball since the second time they lost 11 in a row last year.
Yeah, at least it wasn't 11. We just capped it at 10. But I don't know what else to say about this Padres series, except for that Justin Steele lost in the entire thing, pitched really, really well in that first game. He only gave up 1 run on, and he went 7 innings. It was the only quality start of them all because even though Hendo pitched well against the Padres and he went 5 innings, I don't know why he was pulled. Maybe we saw why he was pulled yesterday because he sucks. But
I think that I mean, honestly, he sort of had it yesterday. It wasn't his game. Like it's not the way that he pitches is not to get strikeouts. And he had like 6 strikeouts in 3 innings, but that's just him putting the ball near the strike zone. That's bad news. And when he was, when he was pitching against the Padres, he was doing really well. He had 78 pitches through 5. Like he's rolling out there. And then they come and get him. I think that hurts the confidence more than anything. It's like, we don't think that you're going to make it. Like literally, and this has happened to him his whole career. One guy gets hard contact, right?
It was a double or something like that.
Yeah, it was a double off the wall. It was hard contact. But then you're going to pull him and you're not even going to give him a chance to get through the inning. He's got 78 pitches. Like
and the lead, I might add.
Yeah, and it's just it doesn't like the way that they have always treated Kyle is somewhat insane. The way, like, some days they're like, go ahead and throw 113. You seem fine. And other days they're 78 and they're like, well, you only have 13 days of rest. We're going to have to pull you. Now, they did say that, he had shoulder
fatigue
or something. And that's why they gave him those 13 days off. But whatever, man.
The bullpen is terrible in this one. And like Kyle, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, he did have the 6 strikeouts, got his ERA under 5. That didn't last long. But then, there wasn't a single good bullpen outing out of all of them. Martin gave up 3. F. Ross got the last out of that 6th inning, but gave up 2. So they give up 5 in that inning. Givens with the blown save. What did they score? 9 in that? No, they scored 10 between the 6th and the 7th inning, and Givens couldn't get an out. Hughes came in. He gave up a walk and a hit, and then Stout, who Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout comes up. He then I guess got sent back down. So I was going to talk about him on this show and bring him on, but I was like, well, he's already gone. Like between the time that he came up and the time that he's gone, like he pitched in a few games, and we'll see him again probably.
Yeah. And I didn't know we were going to talk about that game. I didn't know we were going that far back.
No, we don't have to talk about the game, but
it was insane. Technically, Kyle gave up one run, but that's one of those situations where he should not have gotten that run. Like, yes, the guy got on because he got a hit against Kyle, but what the fuck? They didn't give him a chance.
Yeah.
Like they didn't give him a chance to move on. And then the next dude gives up that run plus 3 more. Maybe Kyle wasn't the worst option there. I think maybe we saw the worst option.
It has nothing to do with winning baseball games, and that's what's frustrating to Cubs fans at that point.
Yeah.
At this point in the season, and that it's just about Kyle's personal work and stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't care about that. I'm paying to see a victory and sing some Go Cubs Go.
Well, and my thought is, how pissed off are you if you're throwing well, you've got the lead, one dude gets a hit, they immediately pull you, right? That's like a blow maybe to the confidence. And then you have to sit there and watch as they score 10 fucking runs after you leave.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. If it's fatigue, why do you even have him start the inning? He faced one batter, he gets a double, and you take him out. Like if you knew it was fatigue, just be like, listen, he's working through some stuff. We're just going to do the 5 innings, take it at that. And everybody's going to accept that answer. But for Rossi to throw him out there for another inning, and it was a double. Oh, sorry, he threw 2 more pitches, and now he's bad. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. It feels like, I think it was this night that I said it. I'm like, it always feels like Ross is managing like a batter or 2 behind, like he's an inning behind or something or I don't know if it's that he can't make adjustments on the fly when something changes to his original plan and can't like think of the next answer or like have some kind of contingency plan real quick if it doesn't go according to plan. Then if you look around the bullpen, I mean, you don't have a lot of options. I mean, it's not, you got everybody's tired because they're taking more innings than any other bullpen in the major leagues pretty much.
And that's the insane thing too. It's okay. Kyle's tired. What do you think the fucking bullpen is? They just came off of a 12-5 loss.
Yeah. Well, that's why you throw Frank Schwindel out there.
It's insane. And then, and the bullpen, honestly, people, the bullpen has pulled their weight this year. They have been actually really good. It's just that they've been out there for so many innings.
Yeah, it's too much.
That eventually you can't, get that, and then you get Kyle Hendricks, who they won't let do that sort of thing because who knows? I don't know. And
yesterday we saw why. He shouldn't. I mean,
but that was he started out in the first inning not doing great. You know what I mean? Like that's different than you're already through the 5th and you're kind of rolling. You're feeling good. That's, those are 2 different situations.
Yeah. Yeah. He just didn't have it yesterday at all. It was Mr. Kyle. But the other thing I took out of this Padres series is that Killian had a rough start. So did Swarmer. The bloom is off the rose with him. He's the one that started the blowout game, I believe, Swarmer. And that was just bad through and through. Killian, he's not supposed to be up yet, and he is. So, maybe he does need a little bit more seasoning. He's obviously a very talented pitcher. He's got a lot of velocity, more than anybody else in the rotation right now. But he also it doesn't have any control. He's going out there. He's walking the world. He walked 5 in this game against the Padres. It's just like a terrible series through and through. At least they almost won 1 game, or actually 2 games. They lost 6-4 and 4-1. So but the other 2 were blowouts and just embarrassing. But let's move into the second series. The Braves 14-game winning streak comes to an abrupt end as the Cubs barely hang on to beat the Braves 1-0. And I mean, this was a really short game. I think it was about 2 hours and 40 minutes long. this baseball game. You had the in this one, Keegan Thompson, really a huge bounce back performance for
Well,
him.
well, when you have 21 strikeouts between the two teams, you only have what, 2 hits over here for Atlanta. You have 3 hits for the Cubs. Yeah, there's not a lot of long innings in there.
Yeah, the hits for the Cubs were from Contreras had one, Horner had one, and Andrelton Simmons had one. And the way they scored was, I mean, Morel went 0 for 3 in this game, except for he got the R and he struck out 3 times, but he got the RBI with the sac fly, which is, you love to see it, because even though he could swing for the fences and he could try to hit the ball super hard somewhere coming out of his shoes, all he did was make the right play in that moment. After VR got on with the walk, got bunted over, stole third, and then with the
Stole
Morel,
third. What
yeah.
is VR doing? Look, that wasn't a toot bland. He made it, but holy shit.
Yeah, you don't love to see it, but with one out, you could score a hell of a lot of ways from third base. And so even though, and Charlie, I mean, at this point, Charlie Morton's out of the game. Let's look at the pitching right here. But he went 7 really strong innings, striking out 9. Cubs only got the 3 hits off of him. And then Minter, who's been nails all year, he's got a 1.26 ERA, ends up giving up that run, which was almost an unearned run. If you think about it, it's a walk that came around to score, and they generated that run. Meanwhile, the bullpen, who we were just complaining about all week long, being just absolutely dog crap. Now you get a situation where Givens, Martin, and Robertson, the same guys that gave it up, I wouldn't call them nails. Like, Robertson loaded the bases in the end of that game, that first game.
And 2 walks in 1 inning. That's a little scary.
Yeah, not great, but yeah, the whole thing was kind of scary. But Cubs pitching, 11 strikeouts in this game.
Well,
Kind of love to see it.
Keegan Thompson,
9 Ks.
Yeah, 6 innings, 2 hits, like 2 walks. Like, Keegan Thompson seems to be the real deal. I mean, everybody was talking about Caleb Killian coming into this season and how excited everybody was to get there, but I don't know, man. Keegan Thompson has been out there now
Keegan,
quite a bit, and he's doing well. Steele not doing quite as well as Thompson.
Well, I don't know.
Still a lot of upside.
You don't like 7 innings of 1-hit baseball? I mean, Steele's doing great too. I mean, it's what it is they're all the same. Like, to me, they're all these young pitch lab situations, and to me, it's like they're all in the same boat, that they're young, they're learning the league, they're learning how to get through a Major League Baseball season, which none of them have ever played, being in a starting rotation of a Major League Baseball team. So you're going to see these growing pains. Like, I'm looking back, like, this is the same Keegan Thompson that gave up 5 runs, though 3 were earned in New York, 7 runs, and he didn't even last an inning in New York, and then 3 innings of 7 runs on 5 hits, and including 3 home runs in Baltimore, and then to bounce back and have this outing. You just love to see it. And you throw away those 2 outings, and he's got an ERA still under 2. So, and Justin Steele, like, it's the same thing. Like, he's figuring stuff out. Like, he gets that advice from Lester. Oh, this is what I'm going to do to a guy. I'm going to have the ball dive in this way to lefty hitters or righty hitters, whatever it is. And he figures something out. And then all of a sudden you see that result right away. And
yeah. And you're right. He has actually had some really good outings here in the last 3. And I think I was still like remembering the Cincinnati 2 innings, 7 runs, the Milwaukee 3 runs on 5 innings. Like, those things were still sort of in my head, but you're right. They're hitting him, but they're not getting a lot out of that. Like, St. Louis had 7 hits and 3 walks, and he only had 1 strikeout in that game, but you only give up 2 runs, and 1 of them was earned. So it's like you're doing the job that you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and we didn't really know if any of these guys were going to stick in the rotation because of injuries. and lack of performance by people like Kyle Hendricks, for the most part, you're kind of stuck with them in the rotation, including Swarmer, who nobody even freaking heard of, who has for the most part overperformed than what I think anybody thought he would do when he came up. Like we're used to
Well,
the likes of Jen Ho Tsang.
he overperformed by showing up and winning those first 2 games, and then I think maybe we're seeing sort of where he's at a little bit more recently, right?
Yeah, yeah. They're going to figure out that he has only one pitch. If you don't swing at it, it could be a ball. And if it's a fastball, you could pretty much very easily hit it over the wall at any major league ballpark, is what we
Yeah.
found out. And the other teams found out. Did you have a poem for this game?
I did. I have a poem for all of these
Okay.
games.
All right. We're going against Pop.
Oh, all right. Cubs poem 63, Chicago 4, San Diego. Oh no, that's San Diego.
This is the wrong game.
Yep, here's the game. Streaks die at Wrigley. A bright day in June. Morel and VR together. Thompson dealing doom. Nothing for Atlanta to do but wait. But the Cubs bullpen came out great. Above the old scoreboard, the W does fly. Fans sing the song. Long awaited sigh.
Yeah. This made me feel good, even though they barely won. I got to take it. And it was such a relief. And that was a really fun game for a lot of our friends because Theo Epstein was at this game sitting out in the bleachers. And I got a couple of pictures I want to share for you guys. I was asked not to share these, but since there's not a lot of people watching right now, we all saw this one, which was Mai Tai guy tweeted out him and Theo sharing a beer.
And okay, Theo gets a TFG for that fucking shirt right there. Coming back. I actually have a lot of hot takes about the Theo thing. Just to let you know. I want to kind of bitch about Theo being there.
Well, I have a leg cramp, so I have to stand up while I talk about this. You ever get seized by a leg cramp?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what just happened to me. So, I guess I need to drink some more water or eat a banana or something like that. Well, the thing about first of all, I love this Rick Sutcliffe shirt that he's wearing. I think it's amazing. It says like something about the Red Bear, and I forget what it says.
Oh, is that a Sutcliffe shirt? I thought that was a fucking Arietta shirt.
No, it's Rick Sutcliffe, and it says the Red Bear on the bottom. So
see, I didn't see. Okay, then I'm not going to give him too much shit for the shirt because
Yeah, no,
I thought that was like a Jake Arrieta. He's like, yeah, I'm going to wear my Jake Arrieta shirt because I brought Jake Arrieta to the team and all that shit. But
no, it's right. It's the
okay.
Red
The
Bear.
Sutcliffe thing makes way more sense. I retract my hot take.
It's his drinking buddy Sut. But then.
No
not only and I don't have the picture of Theo laying in the basket, which by the way is illegal. Like anybody else is arrested, for this shit.
Oh wait,
so I'm like,
the other thing with this picture with Mai Tai guy, what is in Theo's hand?
A can of beer,
A can of Miller Lite to be exact,
which they don't sell at the ballpark.
They do not sell that there. That means he brought that shit in himself.
Yeah.
And nobody's saying a word to him. And on top of it, it's garbage beer. If you're gonna fucking
sneak it in,
your own beer and bring something good, oh Jesus Christ, anti-hero, anything, like fucking bring good beer, you fucking frat boy piece of shit light beer garbage. Like what the fuck, man?
Well, I think he probably got that beer from the bullpen. But the bullpen's been plying Bleacher Jeff with beer as he goes down in front of the window and dances for them.
Is the bullpen fucking drinking light beer too?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Which explains that Padres series a lot. But check out here's Bleacher Jeff and Theo. This is on the roof at Murphy's. And this is after the game. They're hanging out, having a great time. Jeff invited, there he is playing guitar, they're just hanging out on the Murphy's roof. So a couple of our friends, having a great
Oh
time
my
with
God.
with
Theo sitting up there half drunk on Miller Lite go, even flow.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So if you needed any more proof about how right I was, that the reason this team is dog crap right now, after 2017, pretty much, and because Theo took his eyes off the ball and sang Even Flow with Pearl Jam for a good 3 years and didn't trade anybody and just forgot that he was the freaking president of the team. And instead, he's hung out with like Travis Wood in a vest. And now we're stuck with this crap. And now he would still rather hang out with, listen, these are my friends, Bleacher Jeff and Mai Tai. These are my friends, but they are also way below his station. Let me tell you,
Yeah. Well,
he's got to keep he's going to end up in the gutter. He's going to lose it all if he keeps hanging out with us.
Bleacher Jeff goes fucking insane because some dude from Iowa that only goes to 20 games sits in his seat, but this dude doesn't go to games ever. It's the first game he's been to in like 3 years, and he's sitting down there and he's bringing his own beer, and then he's climbing into the basket, just flaunting every rule. He was probably, helping people with fucking cup snakes and shit too, starting a wave. Like, what is like Theo was doing everything wrong in that situation, but he's Theo Epstein, and he gets away with it. Now look, I don't want to look, if I'm Theo Epstein, maybe I'm doing that too, but it just feels a little sort of shitty because he's not part of that team anymore. He's just a regular dude. Right. But if Bleacher Jeff gets out into that basket, laying around, fucking off, with his Miller Lite, he's getting tossed. They don't care.
Yeah. Well, maybe not Bleacher Jeff. They know him. They'd be like, Jeff, get out of the basket. And he's like, I can't get a net. Get the Joe.
I can't get out of the basket. You don't understand. I didn't try to get in here.
I need the jaws of life. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we will head back and talk about the other two games in this series. And this is a commercial for our Patreon. Please join us at patreon.com/sunranto, and we'll be right back. All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sunranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Rockett's family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys one beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Sun Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Sun Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Sun Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/sunranto. That's patreon.com/sunranto. And become a Super Ranter today. Welcome back to the Sun Ranto, or I should say Lunch Ranto show, as we're doing this at lunchtime today due to scheduling issues. I like what Roberto Ramos, or Captain Cubbo, says in the chat. Captain Cubbo falls through the fence with his little extra poundage. I think most of us that listen to this show are of the middle-aged variety, might be going through that fence.
And before anybody really comes after me for my little rant on Theo, I want you all to know that if I had been sitting in the right field bleachers and found out Theo was over in left field, I'd have gone over there and hung out with him and tried to get my picture taken. Yes, I would have done that. I would have been the fucking, like just like everybody else, trying to like love on him, and I would laugh that he had a Miller Lite. This is all true. I'm just fucking around with the guy right now.
Yeah, you weren't
because
there, so you got FOMO and sour grapes now. So
100%.
well,
It fucking sucks that I wasn't there.
No, I mean seriously, no, I concur. I mean, dude, I hang out with Jeff and Mai Tai. On Friday, I was getting ready to go to I had a rehearsal that night. I was making a bunch of things. I was packing for New York. I was leaving Saturday morning. So I should have been at that game and sitting in the bleachers with those guys as I normally would have been, but because I was busy, I was just a mile north of hanging out with Theo and partying on the roof of Murphy's. And, there I was working like a freaking chump. I feel just terrible about it. So I understand I got total FOMO too. The other person I want to point out that was at this game was Ben Zobrist. And I thought it was, interesting that they were able to break the losing streak with the good luck charm of a newly divorced Ben Zobrist in the house. And somebody asked me, hey, what do you think his walk-up song would be now? And I was thinking, because he used to have Alive, I feel alive. Maybe he would put Dead or Alive. Dead or alive.
Oh, that would be good.
Cowboy.
I immediately thought of any one of the hundreds of breakup X songs that Taylor Swift sings. That was my first thought.
We are never, never, never getting back together.
Yes.
Oh, shit. I just got sued by Taylor Swift. God damn it. That was fast. She's got good lawyers. All right. Poem number 2 for the Contreras game, or as Sarah Sanchez calls it, the Contrari.
The Contrari.
Because the plural of Contreras is Contrari, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, we get a little song. This one's lo-fi.
All right, Cubs poem 65, Chicago 6, Atlanta 3. Contreras versus Contreras. Who would have guessed the Cubs would be best? ATL with ivy allergies stuffed up at Wrigley. Now Cubs could win 3. Steele held them down. Coldplay Charlie Brown. Whole team hit around despite 12 Ks. 13 hits on the day. The W flag stays. All right.
No, I didn't think we were gonna win 2 or 3 from Atlanta, but
No, not at all.
Yeah, but after winning the first game, I actually was like, oh, they might be able to, they might be able to build upon that, because there was such an amazing relief in winning that game after losing 10 straight that I thought they might get on a little roll. It was very little. It was one more game that they managed to win. They win it 6-3. They pound out 13 hits to 9 for Atlanta. It was just that the 2 runs that they got in the 5th with a solo shot, and they got to run another run somehow. I forget how, but
that was the mention of Coldplay Charlie Brown. Chris Martin of Coldplay, the song Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown is notoriously adept at giving up home runs. You got to go. You got to, man.
I can't.
These poems are fucking deep, man.
So Ortega hit a home run. Freaking, what a weird ball that Jason Hayward hit. That weird knuckleball that. There was that, I guess it was an error, but I don't know if they called it an error on who was playing left for them, Duvall. And so the ball, like Jay Hay hits it the other way to left field,
which he has been doing a lot of lately. Have you noticed that? Like
he's only way on.
Yeah.
So I mean, how many times have we been saying that he should be trying to do that more?
It only took him 5 years.
But he had to change his swing completely and give up on hitting home runs ever to be able to do it. So maybe they'll play him differently now. Maybe they'll shift around. Now he can pull the ball again, but now he needs a whole new swing, and
right.
It's too late. You can't teach an old Jay Hay new tricks. But but what this weird ball, he squibs it like kind of over to the left side, and the ball has so much spin on it when it hits the ground that it just kind of squibs past Duvall, the left fielder. He ends up on second.
Yeah, that shit made a right turn.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I
Left
love
turn.
baseball when it does that shit. And then physics. It's the only thing I like about physics is when baseballs do that. And then and flying in airplanes. But the other weird play in this game was that so strange double play. And that was Duvall too, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It-
I think
was-
it was, but yeah, the double play with the assists from EY Eric Young over there at first.
Yeah, because the first base coach touches him because he had given, I mean, it was a man on first, little pop fly falls between, which by the way, that should have been caught. That ball should have been caught. But I guess it was an infield fly. They didn't call it. So they get the out at second. And then Duvall had given up on the play, starts walking away, and then realizes, oh, I should be on first base. But the coach had grabbed him and would like, get on first. And you can't do that, which I didn't know was a rule. I didn't know you couldn't touch it. So you can't, does that mean that you can't slap hands if you hit a home run?
Technically, you cannot. You are not so every time you see one of the Cubs players hit that home run and then high five or low five or what do they do with the third base coach, that is technically could be called an out, but they don't do it because that would be fucking insane. And whenever the guys come in and you see like they're all waiting for them, and sometimes you see that players don't actually touch them until they hit the base because they do know that rule. Right. But it's amazing how often that they like, if it's a home run, I think they just, the rule is moot. But yes, in that situation, Eric Young grabs him, pushes him back, and then immediately throws his hand behind his back as if I don't have hands. I didn't just do that. It was funny. He like put his hands behind his back and tried to act as if, he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He knew right away. Fuck, he's out.
But the pitching was pretty good. I mean, Steele didn't go as long as he usually does, but it was 90 pitches, only 5 innings though. Gave up the 5 hits, the 2 runs. He had 3 walks in this one. One thing that's a little bit concerning about Steele is that the strikeout numbers are kind of low. For a guy for a lefty that you think would have more strikeouts.
See, and this was what I was kind of like when I said something about Steele earlier. This is the kind of thing that I'm looking at that's a little concerning. 5 hits, 3 walks to 3 strikeouts.
Yeah,
look, they're not scoring, and that's great. But eventually you feel like those 8 guys on base in 5 innings is going to come back to haunt him.
Yeah. And the wind was blowing, so it was a tough day to pitch. And it was blowing in, but that made it hard for the fielders. So there was like their balls flying all over the place. So like
lot of bad defense in this series for both teams, really.
Yeah. And although it wasn't really necessarily called an error, there were balls dropped that they were blamed on the wind, but Jay made a nice catch in this game too. There were a couple of, and it was only a nice catch because it was so hard to make, because the wind was slicing the balls all around. So Jay understands the trajectories of baseballs in that ballpark, which is great to see. And then like Martin kind of got hit hard at the end of that, but luckily it was just it was into the Cubs gloves and it was out. But one stat I wanted to bring up that I know drives Boog nuts. Boog, I know you're watching, so let this be a lesson to you.
He's probably watching during the game. He waits until the Cubs are on, and then he turns on Ranto show and just fucking
watches that instead. Up. But the Braves had 15 balls hit over 100 miles per hour, but only got 5 hits out of it, which is not normal in the way stats go. So
because
poor predictive people, stat boys, they got to freaking suck that one up because the numbers went against you.
Yep. The only thing that matters is reality, people. So, there's more to it than just hitting the ball hard. Now, yes, if you hit the ball hard more often, more chance of getting hits. But
It's not always what you need.
players adjust to this. These are the best fucking players in the world at what they're doing. They're amazing athletes. They adjust. And for them, 105 is off the bat doesn't mean anything. It's, where it's at, and they will go get that thing. Duvall today. Let's move on to today's game a little bit, but or not yesterday's game.
You're living in the past.
Duvall in left field caught that ball that I thought was over his head, and he fucking leaped up and kind of grabbed it. That fucking sucked. But again, that's reality. That's that ball is 9 out of 10 times it's a double or whatever. But
yeah,
that's not what happened. That's not. You got to look at it. And
it's the 10th dentist, baby.
And since you brought up Booga here a little bit, I do want to mention when I go back the next day and I remind myself everything is going on with the games through the condensed game, they always use usually the announcers for the team that's doing the play that they're showing, right?
Right.
And, so
that was the benefit of the play.
Yeah. So like, you get Shambi and JD, you'll get Pat and Ron and stuff. They have almost completely gotten rid of any John Shambi on these things.
It's mostly Pat. Yeah, I noticed that.
Because Shambi's not fucking paying attention to the game. He's not talking about what's on the field. His audio is unusable for the condensed games. And just think about that, people.
Oh, look we just lost a watcher. Shambi was watching. He didn't want to hear it.
Yep. Think about that. Shambi, his audio for the game in all the important plays that the condensed game thinks is important is unusable. That tells you everything you need to know about how crappy he is at his job. All right.
Yeah. And I'll say this much too. I've seen more from a lot of fans about this at this point.
Because I was on it.
People saying it.
Yeah, I was on this shit from the get-go. And everybody gave me shit all last year and the start of this year. And now everybody's starting to come around like, oh my God, this sucks.
You're boy who cries wolf, though. Like you bitch about everything.
I'm the boy who cries fucking reality.
Wolfality. I don't know what that means.
Wolfality. Hey, come on. I got the next poem here.
Yeah,
Cubs poem 66. Chicago 0, Atlanta 6, which gives us the mark of the beast right there at the top. Time to sweep. Instead we weep. Kyle can't go deep. ERA on upward creep. 6K in 3 frames and losing games. Hendo not the same. Hap hits well. Runs bases like hell. Won't listen to Morel, but numbers are swell. I'll say it once more. Can't win if you don't score. Hashtag fly the L.
Very nice. Yeah, this game, I didn't really get a chance to watch. I was sitting in the theater. I did see the condensed game, kind of had it out of the background on my iPad. And really, there's not much to talk about here. I mean, your poem's the only pretty much interesting thing about this. Cubs only get 6 hits. They really do nothing the entire game. Yeah, I mean, the only thing to do is complain about Kyle Hendricks, who gave up 6 runs on 8 hits, did strike out 6, only walked the 1, gave up the two home runs, which is pretty concerning. And they couldn't do shit off of freaking the lead singer of Jethro Tull, who hasn't had a performance like that since Tull played Tampa Stadium back in 77.
Yeah. No, and this was what I was talking about earlier. He had 2 strikeouts in the first inning, 2 in the second inning, 2 in the third inning.
Got tired.
That is not Kyle's game, really. His game is contact, weak, shitty contact. And the more he's striking people out, the more he's putting the ball into sort of that zone, right? And he's going to start to get hit. And that's that's kind of where he's at. And I'm not saying obviously he shouldn't be throwing strikes. It's just how those strikes are being used. He's not a strikeout pitcher. He's a ground ball pitcher, or on a wind blowing in day, he's a pop fly hitter. Pitcher. He knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have it anymore. Well, he doesn't have it right now.
Yeah,
it's not working for him right now. Something's not happening.
It is Dr. Hendo and Mr. Kyle is what we're looking at. It's really that. It's what he might really find it and really just carve these batters up, finding his locations, fooling guys with what speed and what he's going to throw and all that stuff. Have everybody out in front, and inducing the weak contact. Or he's just the worst pitcher you've ever seen in any given day. And there really just seemed to be no in between. Yep. I don't believe there's been too many games this year so far where we've been like, oh, Hendricks was okay. 3 runs, 5 innings, 90 pitches. It was okay. 6, something like that. But I do want to mention Adrian Sampson, who I don't know what the Cubs are going to do now that they got to go down to 13 pitchers. We're going to talk about that one second. But Adrian Sampson came in and did what we want Kyle to do, which is 4.2 innings, literally took just over 1 out of over half the game, 1 hit, 5 strikeouts, and he has yet to give up a run this year. So I don't know who they're going to keep up, but if you're going to need these innings, you need like 7 piggyback guys to get through the season at this point, because you don't have anybody, especially with the Smiley and the Miley and the Stroman all being gone for however long. I don't know. They're all playing catch. I read on Twitter. They're playing catch now. Well, this is not a good sign. I need them to pitch.
Yeah. Well, the only other thing I wanted to talk about here a little bit is I did want to bitch about Hap here a little, because he had a great day at the plate. He was 3 for 3, I think, at one point, but he gets caught in a rundown because he fucking takes off too early, and the pitcher is just like, what the fuck are you doing? He gets, so Toot Bland out there on the field. And then I have noticed this, this is not the first time, but 2 or 3 times he's over in left field now. He's not the center fielder. The center fielder is the captain of the outfield. Morel is over there, and he's not listening to him. He's running out over there, and Morel is calling him off. He's fucking doing his job, and his job is to cover those things. And Hap's running his fucking ass off to get over there for the play and not to back up. And it happened in this game. They fucking like almost ran into each other on like a grounder, on like a liner grounder. Yeah. The other day, he ran into Morel as Morel caught a baseball. Ian Happ, you are a fucking left fielder and not a very good one at that. Stay the fuck in your lane. Let Morel do his job. And it's like Morel is this, rookie. And so I'm sure he's struggling with how to deal with this dude that's been out there.
He's also a third baseman usually. So,
right. But, it's one of those things. You got to fucking play the game the right way. And Hap is just being a dick out there right now. But that's it. We can move on.
Yeah, well, we should. But why don't we take just a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back. And we're going to talk all about Jed Hoyer speaking about basically nothing on Cubs Talk. But we'll be right back. Buy our shirts.
Do you like having sex? Me too. That's why I always wear my Ranto swag shirts every time I'm looking to get some. It's the only t-shirt guaranteed to get you laid. Knock boots in your shankless shirt. Bump uglies in a Ranter long sleeve. Ride the skin busted Tuna Town in a Dabbing Cubes fan shirt. Take gold one-eye to the optometrist in your bull penis awesome attire, or smash pissers in a Spagog shirt. Ranto swag shirts are just like people. There are many different sizes and colors colors to choose from. Plus, at San Ranto's swag store, you'll find vintage John Baker Day, designated hater, and Matt Cameron drawn rally titty designs on everything from shirts and hoodies to baby onesies, bags, and hats. Go to sunranto.com/swag and check out all the sexy styles guaranteed to get you laid. You'll be stuffing the soft taco in no time. sunranto.com/swag, guaranteed to get you laid.
Wearing San Ranto swag products not guaranteed to get you laid. San Ranto swag is not responsible for your sex life. San Ranto swag is for entertainment purposes only.
Welcome back to the Sun Ranto Show. I should mention that I just got an email today that it's 22% off all orders tomorrow on Tuesday, June 21st. So on the 21st, you could take 22% off. Now, why they didn't make it Wednesday the 22nd or let you take 21% off on the 21st, I don't know. But I do know that it's happening tomorrow, and it's 22% on the 21st. Maybe so that we talk about it like that and be like, what the hell are they doing? So, yeah, Jed went on Cubs Talk. What do you say?
Okay, yeah. So Jed went out there and he talked to the reporters this week, which a lot of people have been asking for a while. And so I listened to it. And of course, Jed is full of shit. Like, the guy just talks in circles. He says shit and then fucking contradicts himself, or he says stuff in these as he's talking that goes against the things that we see him doing in real life. So the first one, I brought up, so in Gordon Wittenmeyer, the guy, I love him. He asks all the hard questions. He is not fucking around. He gets out there and makes these guys answer shit that they do not want to answer. And it annoys them, and I'm here for it. G-Dub Cub is my spirit animal. That's my obvious shirt. So Gordo says, and these are very close to what they said, but somewhat shortened so that I could get it on there. Tom said the Cubs would compete at least for a wild card. And he wants to know, does Jed get questions from the Rockets? Jed's answer: we all have questions. Tom has questions. I have questions. Ross has questions. Wait, what?
The fans have questions. Gordo, you just asked a question.
Yeah. So first off, that's a shit answer that doesn't say anything. And second, that makes me think no one in the Cubs universe knows shit about what's going on. They have no fucking clue what's happening.
Yeah.
And then we go on. There's a different reporter because it was a lot of guys there. Will those questions lead to what you need to do in the off season? Again, paraphrased. And Jed, right now, the focus is very much on today, tomorrow. But also, Jed, later, we're giving these guys the chance to play. You want to make sure guys get the runway to play. But Jed's actual real world decision, let's not give Frazier any steady time. Then DFA him instead of optioning. They could have just fucking optioned him. But we're still playing Hayward a lot. We're going to DFA a player who has options.
Got a new swing. We got to try it out. We got to see what he can do, like poking it down the left field line.
Yeah, we've got a guy who had 3 days of steady play, who did great during those 3 days. Every other time they're putting him in for nothing. They're fucking ruining Clint Frazier, giving him no opportunities. And then he says shit like, we're giving these guys a chance to play. You want to make sure guys get the runway to play. He's talking about Morel and Killian and guys who are actually succeeding because they're getting the chance to do this while he fucks over Clint Frazier.
Yeah, and I think there's more. I smell something in there. There's something about the Clint Frazier situation that feels like they don't like him, or that they think he's trouble. I don't know. There's something about it.
Not according to Ross. If you listen to when they asked Ross about it, Ross is like, I love Clint Frazier. I love Clint Frazier. I'm sorry we couldn't get him more time. It was just a situation with the Okay, if that's true,
No, it's not.
then
true because-
Ross isn't making Ross has no say in the decisions, which I think we all feel like might be a real thing.
Yeah, I have no. I mean, we can get back to like. I don't want to rehash the Jason Hayward conversation because it just seems like we're stuck with them. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense when, especially when like Suzuki's hurt. You know, you already have you don't
Stroman
even have
goes on the IL that very same day. Now I know you don't want to have Clint Frazier still there and down a pitcher, but you're not bringing a pitcher up that one day anyway. So wait that day, see what you can do because, hey, guess what? Now Schwindel's hurt. Now, there's other people that are having issues. So he would have had a spot.
Yeah, he would have had a spot. He would have had a start or two. Dominic says, smells like a redhead conspiracy. I agree. I think they just don't like the ginger. They don't like the nose ring. They don't like that he says crap against the Yankees, and the Yankees are like, DFA him. No. This guy, this is what he did over here. This is why we gave him to you. We're sick of him. Got to teach him a lesson. And they did that to Hap when he showed up like to spring training with the sports car. They're like, oh, focus on baseball, son.
Yeah, you remember when Ian Happ was in Iowa fucking like hitting like 550 for 3 months?
Yeah, they wouldn't bring him up. They're just punishing him for no reason, just to teach him. But, I did see, because I looked up, Clint Frazier's got an Instagram. So does his girlfriend, fiance, Kaylee. And what she posted that day that he got DFA'd, put her in a mood. And so she's like, I got to take a picture of myself in my underwear.
Oh my God.
That's what I got. I got to put it on Instagram. And it's about like her, she obviously is a very fit person.
Danny has a major crush on Clint Frazier's girlfriend. And if we ever meet Clint Frazier, it's going to be awkward.
Yeah, no, I don't know what you're talking. I'm reporting the news here. This is what happened. It's Cubs related, so there it is. Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing I have with the Jed thing, I think it was Gordon, but I couldn't tell. It could have just been another reporter's quiet. But it sounds like a Gordo question. You say this process won't take a long time. I don't know how fans can buy that, is what he said to Jed. Jed immediately, I didn't say that at all. I said, I don't have a sense. I have a sense of how to build the next great team. I didn't give you any sense of timing. I didn't. I don't have a feel for that. Wait, do you have a sense or don't you have a sense?
Don't you have a sense? Yeah.
Do you have a feel for the timing or don't you? Like, what the fuck? Like, you did tell everybody it wasn't going to take long.
Do you know what it reminds me of is, by the way, this just in breaking news, Adrian Sampson optioned to Iowa. So congratulations. Way to go, Adrian. You did really well. Have fun in Iowa. He'll be back, but now they can't bring him back for a while. It's like a 15-day option rule. Yeah. So that's a shame. They're going to need him. I hope. Well, maybe some injured person who's going to come back. I don't know. But no, yeah, you're right. That is like the where there are known unknowns. Remember Dick Cheney about going to war? It's just like, God. And then they were freaking screwing us up too. And now everybody knows, but some of us knew back then. Now we know this now. We're getting sold a bill of sale. They're getting up there. They're saying nothing. They're like, we know that we don't know, but we know that we will know when we know, and you're like,
And
no, nobody knows.
Right. And every question is, we're worried about today. We're worried about today, tomorrow. And yet they're not putting the teams on the field that might win today or tomorrow. And then when you ask about the future, they're like, we have no fucking clue. And we told you we didn't. But you didn't tell us that. You told us you were going to thread the needle.
I bet you next press conference, he just breaks into Fleetwood Mac's Don't Stop. He's like, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. He's just going to distract us with, it's going to get more random as things go on.
That's why Theo was there the other day, right?
Well,
Jed called him and he's like, dude, just come in. I just need to talk. I just need to talk. I'm losing my mind. I don't know what to do.
He lost some files in the computer that they shared. It's like, I know it's in here. I've done a search on everything.
I just found out we have a team in Myrtle Beach. What the fuck is going on, Theo?
Can't find the Myrtle Beach file. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Somebody asked earlier, I believe it was Jack. He said Adrian Sampson. This must be what he was talking about. Why didn't we DFA Norris instead of sending down Sampson? I mean, I think it's probably because Sampson just pitched and now he's not available for 4 more days. And they're like, well, when we
Right,
do
because
the
he pitched
math,
like an entire like starters game.
yeah, pretty much. But and they got to go down to the 13 pitchers, which they haven't been at. And I don't know what that means. I guess Bodie might be coming back soon. He's been tearing it up down there at AAA, which is pretty much what he always probably should have been, is just a really great AAA depth piece like a Frank
Quadruple
Schwindel.
A guy.
Yeah. But he's going to come up and have to be on the team. And then there's room for him because Schwindel, not only did he hurt his back, but he got his feelings hurt by Stephen Colbert.
What? Okay, I didn't clock this, but I do know Colbert is kind of a Chicago guy, and he watches some of this stuff.
Yeah, I guess he watches the Cubs. And I have here, I'm going to share my tab here. This is, here we go. Frank Schwindel this is the answer back. You see the tweet there. It says Frank Schwindel has answered Stephen Colbert of Colbert's Late Show. I didn't appreciate that one. I'd like to see him do it. And it was in response to this.
Now I'm no baseball player.
They showed a Frank Schwindel eephus pitch that he gave up for a very long home run at Yankee Stadium last weekend.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's pitched since then, too, by the way. Oh, God.
Now, I'm no baseball player, and neither apparently is Frank Schwindel.
I'm sorry. That's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny. I kind of see what Frank's saying, though. Like, if he had said, I'm no pitcher, then I think he gets away with that, and Frank's not pissy. But it's like a baseball player. I don't know. Frank Schwindel, anybody who plays out there at all happens to be in the 0.001% of all great baseball players in the world at any given moment. You know what I mean? But I think if he had said pitcher, I don't think Frank would have been upset.
Right.
He's just like, fuck you. I'm a baseball player.
Fix the joke. The writers passed it, and they should have said, I'm no baseball pitcher, or I'm no pitcher.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
But, but neither is
pitcher.
Frank Schwindel. And Frank would have been like, goddamn right, I'm not.
Goddamn right. But I did enjoy this about Frank Schwindel. And one of his eephus pitches is an intentionally high arching pitch, is the one that they showed, which is, it looks like a softball that coming in. It's like men's league. It's like Chicago League softball. And but this from, I believe I saw this in Bleacher Nation. It's been a while since I screenshotted this, but for what it's worth, he did touch 69 miles per hour during a pitching appearance in Wednesday's blowout loss to the Padres.
Nice.
His last appearance. So he's working on that secondary pitch and closing games out, whether or not we like it. So we've pretty much gone through all that. Michael, you released a Pirates preview, a Pittsburgh Pirates
Pittsburgh Pirates preview podcast, or
for Patreon people. For Patreon people.
Patreon people. Oh man, where were you yesterday when I was fucking recording that to give me an extra PP?
Yeah, sorry. I'll give you a PP next week. After we do a series with the Pittsburgh Pirates, then we'll have another Patreon preview for another team. But or maybe a post game, a Pittsburgh Pirates post game.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So yeah, so you already gave anybody that is a Patreon subscriber could have heard the best 12-minute Pittsburgh Pirates Patreon preview that really you could shake a stick at. So it's going to be Killian and Brubaker.
You actually took a little roughing up on Facebook today. Emily showed me people saying that you stole my Thompson twins joke.
Oh yeah, I did steal it. Well, by the way, that's not true that I stole it, because I already thought of it. Okay,
it's low hanging fruit. Like I laughed that anybody even pointed that out.
So but in this business of show where we have our different things, Crawley's been doing my 9 times too. It's driving me nuts. I'm like, I might have to talk to him. I'm like,
again, not yours.
yeah, exactly. You were 10 when that movie came out. You've got to settle down. All right, no, but it was no, the Thompson twins. If to let everybody in what we're talking about, the Wednesday's matchup is game 3 of this series is going to be Keegan Thompson versus who's this Thompson? What's
Zach Thompson?
Thompson.
Zach. It's another Zach.
No, yeah, Zachariah. So it's Thompson versus Thompson, which if you're old like us, you know about the Thompson twins and their song "Hold Me Now."
When Emily was listening to the preview, she looked at me and she was like, "Are they really gonna do a reunion at the thing?" Like, she got excited for a second. She's like, "Oh my god, Thompson twins are gonna do a show at PNC." Like, she was excited. It was funny. I'm like, no, it's a joke.
Do you think they could put it together real fast? I mean, they are English, but do they still have the Concorde? They could get here real fast on that jet. But yeah, Thompson versus Thompson. That's on Thursday. We're moving backwards. But then you got Killian and Brubaker tonight. Swarmer and Ronzi Contreras, which that's a hell of a name. So too bad William Contreras didn't get traded to the Padres. We got 3 Contrerases out there. And then Steele versus Q in the day game. The only one we're not going to see of theirs is Mitch Keller. And but you got to be a Patreon subscriber, and then you hear Michael's incredible podcast. And I did a Braves one too. You took 12 minutes. I did a Braves. I don't know how I did it. 30 minutes. I did by myself on the Cubs Braves series. I don't know how it came out that I just started screaming about something. I remember there was one part where I was like pounding the table really hard and screaming by myself. I was like, man, what must the neighbors think?
And honestly, I actually was less than 10 minutes because I added like a Pirates song at the beginning, and then I added your bases loaded bunt song at the end. Like, there was less than 10 minutes of content.
Yeah. Well, it was good, and it gave me all the information I needed to know. A couple of announcements. The Bleacher Bum Band is playing before the game on the 2nd of July, and that will be at Output Lounge at 4 p.m. So get yourself tickets to the game or not, and come out and hang out with me, because I'm not gonna go to that game. I'm gonna hang out with the gear, probably sit there and eat chicken wings and party with you guys. So whatever's going on, we could all hang out. Maybe that could be like an unofficial 4th of July freedom meetup where we eat wings and play rock and roll. I don't know. Well, it's 4th of July weekend's got to have freedom in there. Like the red, white, and rant. I don't know. I'll come up.
Where is that going to be? I'm sorry.
Output Lounge. Output
Lounge.
Wrigleyville.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we're going to figure this out, but I think we can do a little post-game kind of conversation after the game on Thursday. And we maybe go on the Twitter Spaces again, do something like that. I know Michael's got to work, but the game should be over by about 2:30. So maybe we
as long as the game doesn't run long for some odd reason, then I can jump on there for a while. That'd be good.
So we'll do a Twitter Space on Thursday after the game. I know a lot of you be working, but all of you degenerates who are still working at home because you're scared of getting the vid, you can hang out with us. I don't know.
These flexing cubes. I think that's all we got.
Flexing cube. Oh, and chance for a chance. #chance in the chat. And
you want to do the chance now?
Yeah, let's do it while I'm thinking about it. So I'm gonna share my screen here. Only 5 entries, although that is not probably true. I think there's probably more than 5 entries. Here's some drawing music. That's a lot more than 5 people.
Yeah.
And the winner is Little Yumper, Tom Garcia. Congratulations.
By the way, Lil Yumper has a new podcast out that he's been doing with his Southside buddies, and It's called Yumper and Svo at the Show, and they talk about movies. And the most recent one is their hot takes, and they had a real good hot takey show. It was a good show. So if you guys are looking for more content, check out Yumper.
Yeah. What's the name of the show? Yumper and Schmo?
Yumper and Svo,
Svo.
SVO, at the show, because the dude's name is like I can't say his name. It's got an SV and an O in it.
David Elliott points out that you also sang. Yeah, Michael, you sang on that show. I did hear that. We don't talk about Rhodesy. And you were pretty in key. You're getting better. I'm proud of you.
You know what? You just keep doing it, and you annoy everybody as it happens.
That's basically the story of this podcast. So
that's true.
It hurts, but it's true. So I'm going to start with at Cubs because I think they might have got a new guy, or the old guys had it because Barstool, who I don't see their tweets usually because I got them all blocked, but the Cubs were tweeting at people who had, I guess, come for the Cubs for losing so much. I expect your tears all over the timeline in a few hours. And Fishy says, screenshotted for later. Good job. I'm sure you'll get 1 retweet and 3 likes and give yourself a nice pat on the back. And then Fishy's like, you're literally 23 and 37. Stop. LMFAO. And then Chicago Cubs says, you're a teenager on the internet tweeting at a baseball team Twitter account. I'm like,
that's great.
It is, but it's like not usual for the Cubs to be, I'm going to just say it, an asshole. Like usually they stay above the fray and they don't let stuff like that go down. So it's either like Todd Ricketts got a hold of the Twitter handle and the account, or they changed people.
Well, you know what? I'm here for it. I love it. And the only thing I would say, the only criticism is again, that was low hanging fruit. We know all about low hanging fruit, and but the teenager on the internet, yeah, you got to be a little bit more clever than that.
Yeah. So do you have one? I do. 2 more.
So this one comes from Obvious Shirts, taking Nike jerseys to task, and I loved it. It's a picture, and it says the Brewers' new City Connect jersey, and it's actually a picture of the Myrtle Beach Pelicans pitcher, because my lord, those new Brewers jerseys are baby blue with yellow letters and numbers. They look exactly like the Pelicans jerseys, except for the font is different. That's the same goddamn jersey right there. It's amazing.
But I mean, the Brewers had that baby blue and yellow before the Pelicans did. I would guess.
But look. Oh God,
they've been.
Look up what the Brewers jerseys look like, and
City
you'll
Connect?
see how. Yeah, the City Connect Brewers jerseys. They are very similar.
Yeah, that is really like
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you could say like, oh, they had a little bit of this, but yeah. So for the podcast, if you're listening, it is a all baby blue jersey, yellow Pelicans across the chest, and a number under the Pelicans. And the Brewers they're like, it is identical outside of
I'll show
the
it right
font.
now.
Oh, you've got it. Good.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I still do contend that the baby blue and yellow is a Brewer's color. Like,
but okay, the Pelicans is up at an angle like that. The Brewer, it says Brew Crew is up at the angle like that.
Look at these guys. Look at Paul Molitor and Robin Young.
The Cubs have a baby blue. Everybody has had a baby blue over the years. I get it, but that jersey is the same as the Pelicans jersey. Like, it's the same thing. I mean, it is way too close to yeah. And I don't hate the Brewers City Connect as much as I've hated a lot of them, but I like the original from the Pelicans better. So
Yeah, I'm not quite as mad about it, but I do think that Joe's hilarious. But I don't know why.
I just thought it was very funny for them to pop that on there and call them out for that, because most people, I didn't know that that's what the jersey looked like. I would not have made that, that connection. So they nailed it.
Well, he's a shirt guy. He knows all about shirts. So I like this one. This is from Cubs fans in Oklahoma, which is a great Facebook group full of thousands of Oklahomans who love the Cubs. But Ryan Mess has had enough. He said, "I'm so tired of the bandwagon fans that only stick to the 2016 season. This team was bad before. They're not the best now. We get it. We're watching the same games. Jesus Christ, people. I'm done. Fucking kick me out. I don't care anymore. I'm tired of the bashing." I mean, this is what a losing streak, this is what a bad season will do to a guy.
Yeah.
We love baseball. And some people like it's about screaming and yelling and having fun. But I agree in a certain sense that there's no real need to bash the team. Just point out that they suck and move along.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know they suck.
We know. I mean, we bash them a couple of times a week on this show,
but we love them. We hurt them because we love them.
But we're right. We are actually watching these games. We're paying attention.
Me or the Cubs?
We have reasons for what we're saying, and we tell you about them. It's a lot different than just being the guys like, fuck them.
Yeah, I was like, fuck them for losing to the Padres by 1,000,000 runs. But good job, Justin Steele. You did well.
Yeah,
I pointed that out.
We're looking for highlights here every so often.
Morel's still hitting.
Yeah, Morel is my 2022. Like, he's the guy that has made this worth paying attention to at all. I love his energy. Well, and Wilson Contreras hitting behind him.
Yeah.
It's going to be so sad when they trade his ass.
Yeah. And they might just throw in Morel because they actually should be a package.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They get way more of a package. They just get, maybe they'll get really good shit. I mean, that would piss everybody up, but hey, sell high because we don't know what we got in Morel.
That's, well, I mean,
but nobody's going to do that. They're not going to.
Yeah,
other teams aren't going to be like, "Ooh, he was awesome for a month. Let's get him." I'm sure he's going to be Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, let's trade our number 3 starting pitcher for that guy.
Sounds great. Let's get Quintana too. So then this is my last one. Tim Coyle said, "I may be nuts, but I don't think we are going to the playoffs this year."
He might be nuts the way that's written.
I know, but I don't think we. Yeah. So I did enjoy that. So many comments, and I wish I would have seen what that was, but it was seen by 28 people. And if you look at Tim's picture up in the corner, he does look nuts. And
yeah, he's wearing a Cubs jersey and he's face palming. Yeah,
and he looks like somebody that is. I am not doing something. So
I am not
doing something. So there's the show, and we'll come back on Thursday with more Pirates. I'll be in Pittsburgh on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. So if you're in Pittsburgh at the game, along with
what the hell are you doing
people
right now? You're in New York. I don't even know what
I'm going to see. Johnny Onomatopoeia. We're gonna hang out today. I was gonna go to the Mets game, but then I would have.
But why are you in New York? Just for a vacation?
No. I'm doing a show, The Martyrdom of Peter O'Hay from the fabulous Trapdoor Theater in Chicago,
you're traveling
Illinois.
With the show. Okay,
yeah,
that's where I got confused.
Shows are over. So Saturday and Sunday we went. Here's some. I'll show some pictures that I took of the cast up on the stage there.
There's our guy, Cardinals fan Dennis.
Dennis, the Cardinals fan, is in that picture. There's Dennis at the end of Ken Jong Peel, a song I wrote, and that's the end of the big production number. This is during the tech rehearsal. We had to tech lights at both venues that we went to because it was a new lighting design at both places. In fact, let me show you a picture of where we went first. Look at this ballroom that we played.
Oh,
It's
that's
just
beautiful.
gorgeous on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. About 100 people showed up to this one. The other one was like more of a black box. I don't have a picture of that one, but this is 2 gorgeous chandeliers, giant hall, big stage. And if you've been to Trapdoor Theater, you know it's a 40-seat black box. So this was very different place to put this show. And so you see that there's the cast there.
David Elliott says, Cotton, are you even friends with Danny?
It's like, what are you doing there? It's like, I don't know. It's like, didn't give me his travel plans.
Well, yeah, well, you're talking about the show. I know about the show. I just wasn't aware the show was going to New York.
Yeah, the show went to New York.
Yeah, so I missed that because Danny didn't invite me.
One room in the van. I was going to talk about, I will say this. Everybody's flight got canceled of the actors on Friday.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So they're at O'Hare, totally stranded. They can't get them out. They can't get them to New York until after the first show is already over. Now we got to be there all day setting this thing up anyway. They got to come in that day. So what do? They rent a van at O'Hare Airport. David Elliott, he's been talking about it for weeks. It's great.
Wait, you've been talking about going to New York for weeks?
Yes.
Oh my God, I don't listen to you.
Like a lousy drunk. And then but everybody's flight gets canceled. So what they do is they hop in a van, 7 of them in a 7-passenger. And if you've ever tried to do that with adults and all their luggage, that is not a comfortable ride all the way to New York City. They arrive at 3 a.m.
Wow.
They get up the next day. They come down to the theater, the one I just showed you. They then proceed to do a tech rehearsal all day, then perform at night, then have to like schmooze with the freaking rich people who brought us in to perform at that place. Then they got to go home, get up the next day, do it all over again on Sunday, except this time in New Jersey. So they got to get up, get in the van, drive all out. So that's what they were doing. Do the whole thing again, another tech rehearsal, all the costumes, and then get right back. They all got day jobs in Chicago. So then they got to fly back Nicole now, my girlfriend, has to drive the van back today with the lead of the show to get the van back in time. So they have to pay another $200 for a day of it. And then pay $1 million in gasoline, all this shit. Now, they got paid to do this, but it's just enough to cover all these costs, and especially all the mistakes that got made, even with the money coming back from the original canceled flights. So all I got to say is, I'm so proud of my theater for doing this. And I know almost every other occupation in the world, you show up, your flight's canceled. You're not like, oh, I got to go to this business meeting in Salt Lake City. No, you're going to cry at the freaking agent. You're going to get your shit canceled, and you're going to go home, and you're going to sleep in your own bed that night. You're not going to get on in a car to drive there because it's not that important. For theater people, you got to be there, and the show must go on. So like my theater did that, and they freaking made it happen. So kudos to them.
And like you said, because of all that, it worked out to be almost $0.
Yeah. And so they are broke as a joke. Theater people do not get paid. I paid my own way out here just to help because I believe in it. So if you have any extra thousands of dollars hanging around in your bank account, honestly, it is a non-for-profit theater company called trapdoortheater.org, spelled THEATRE. And seriously, like, we kick ass. Our shows are great, and we're not getting paid for them. So like, help keep us, like, honestly, like the money will seriously go to like sandwiches so people can eat. Like that's where we are with this situation, paying the rent, keeping it going. So Trapdoor Theater, support us. I'm really proud of it. Really proud of Nicole, who directed this show. And, the cast, they kicked ass. The actors are, just beautiful people. And anyway, it's Guy Sears says clapping hands. Exactly. So I'll be in Pittsburgh. So if you want to come hang out, give me $1,000 to give to the theater and help us get a new sound system or something like that, I'll be happy to take it. So on that note, we'll see you on Thursday.
Yep. Let's do it.
Yeah, I guess I don't really have a special song. I didn't think about it. So I guess I'll just play.
How surprised were you about the song I chose?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that song. Bases Loaded Bunt.
Yeah. That was fun.
I enjoyed it. So let's just do Rob Manfred hates baseball because we know he does.
Always.
All right.
Always applicable.
Spagog and roll.
Spagog!
Rob Manfred likes opening days in winter. Likes baseball games that don't go on too long. Rob Manfred likes more offense from the hitter. Likes juicing up the ball and hitting dongs. Intentional walks with just a finger. And old umpires who are always blowing calls. Likes the National League DH. But one thing Manfred hates. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred likes a pitch clock for the pitches. And batters who stay inside the box. Likes lessening the ball drag with lower stitches. And half the teams making the playoffs. Rob Manfred likes pitchers who face 3 batters. And not paying minor leaguers at all. Like the catch so block the plate. But one thing Manfred hates. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Yeehaw! Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred likes TV deals and blackouts. He likes letting the Houston Astros cheat. He likes how ticket prices keep the fans out.